What happens at laser tag never stays at laser tag.
Laser Unfocused Tag Talk.
Laser Unfocused Tag Talk.
I feel like you could be like in Ghostbusters or something.
Oh my God, you have got some stories.
Let's talk about laser tag.
Who knew you were a laser tag legend?
Time to get laser unfocused. Tag Talk with Tivia.
Welcome to Laser Unfocused Tag Talk. Hi, I'm Tivia. I love to find new laser tag experiences, and I recently got to play a unique session of tactical tag while traveling through Iowa. So I'm being joined today by Laird and Seth Pettit, who are the owners of Dragon's Lair, which is a tactical laser tag arena that I had the pleasure of playing very recently in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Welcome, guys. How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. So I want to talk a little bit about your business. I really had a great time and thought there were some really unique things going on here, but I wonder if you can kind of walk me back to the beginning. And first of all, what was it that made you even look at getting into the laser tag industry? What was the first look into starting the idea of being laser tag operators?
Sure.
I'll let Aaron start this one off.
Sure. So it's a pretty good story. So why I and Seth will go into the next part is because at least here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, we really don't have a lot of things for older kids. There's a lot of younger stuff that's here. So we wanted something that was going to keep people engaged using their body. Movement, brain is a big one for us because we also have escape rooms too. So, and keep people entertained. My ex-wife and I, we went to kind of a similar concept. They didn't have all the bells and whistles that we have that you've played with, but kind of the tactical part of it, like the more military side of it, and we decided, well, we needed to do something. We owned another business at that time, and we wanted to kind of branch out. And we started this adventure about 10, 12 years ago. It took about a couple of years to get everything going, for the most part. Research on taggers and everything else. And once we started, there's this gentleman right here that
So I served 12 years in the United States Army, and on my way after my last deployment, I came home and I wanted to get together with a bunch of my friends, and we went to a tactical laser tag place out in Des Moines, made a road trip out of it. I think it was EC Tactical at that point.
Yep.
So we went, we played, and I'm like, this is awesome. And it sucks that I had to drive 2 hours to go play. So I started thinking about and putting together a business plan. I did all the research. I started talking to people to inject cash, and I was ready to go. And Aaron opened Dragon's Lair. So I'm like, I've got to go check this out. So I came, I played, it was fantastic. But the market is saturated with one place. So didn't really want to compete. So I made Aaron my friend, and he brought me into the fold, and just through just the ideas that we can bounce off of one another, it just felt like a really synergistic plan for us to come together and own this together.
Yeah. And
that is a great way to get into business.
Yeah. And I think it was a year, might have been a year we were going, and then you came on.
It was a little, I think it was just about a year that you guys were open that I ended up coming in.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you both played first and just fell in love with the game, and that's what prompted, let's get into business. That's essentially how it started for you?
For the most part, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, going back 12 years there. I mean, can you walk me through a little bit of the history, your history as operators and the timeline of what happened from when you opened to now? Because I understand you're not in the original location anymore. So there's got to be a story of the progression of where did Dragon's Lair begin and where are you at this stage?
Sure. So the business as a whole is now, as of next week, will be 9 years, into our ninth season is what I like to call
Oh,
it.
congratulations. Okay, so 12 years to kind of get it off the ground and 9 years of,
Yeah.
as operators.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So just a lot of research and a lot of failing is what I always say. And with everything as a business, with banks and all kinds of different things, even with the taggers, just kind of figuring out how they work and what we can use them as,
Yep.
as proficiently as possible, because the taggers that we use are mostly for outdoors, and that's what most of the operators use them for, is for outdoors and outside. So we had to figure out how an indoor with these taggers would work out.
We had to dial the power way back. At full power, these things will reach a really long distance. So we had to dial them way back. So we're not getting splash damage or reflecting or anything like that. So,
Yep.
So starting in our first location, we had about a 5,000 square foot building. Roughly, I want to say probably about 40% of that was our arena. From there, we filled the rest of the building with escape rooms. Just things, because when Aaron said we needed something for older kids to do, Cedar Rapids doesn't have a lot of family friendly stuff to do either. And we wanted a place where families should come together and do stuff together rather than send the kids off to play while mom and dad have a drink, right? We wanted
Now,
something
I'm going to ask you to pause the story for just a moment, because with what you're saying there, I'm curious about the space and how many people you were able to accommodate in the space that's the first arena. Because you were telling me it was like around 2,000 square feet. So when you're putting this together, were you able to accommodate bigger groups or families to begin with, or how many did you start with to where you grew to?
we were fairly limited when we started. We were doing probably 15 to 16 players max in the arena.
Okay.
And then, fast forward a little bit. Now we're in a space that is overall twice as large as our original building, and our new arena is the size of our old building. So we have now upped that. We're now with the equipment that we have been able to host groups as large as 30.
Excellent. And not to interrupt the flow of the story, I just wanted to make sure we got those numbers in, because, you went from sort of a starter size arena and you drank its milk and grew it to a nice size situation that you're in now. So, okay. So you're back in that first location, smaller arena and escape rooms. Where do we go from there?
Smaller arena and escape rooms. And we don't do any traditional advertising. So everything we do is word of mouth. So we started to grow. We recognized that we were growing. And then we took a business trip, Aaron and I, to IAPA one year, and just kind of getting a feel for, what else is out there, what else we can offer to people in Cedar Rapids. And we came out of there with a new concept where we wanted to really transport our players into a video game. We wanted to really move them from, hey, you're just running around shooting your taggers at your friends, to you are part of a bigger story. And with that, we storyboarded, we came up with plans, and we moved to eventually what we have now, which is, a completely story-driven game where we can pick the game and we have video briefings that tell a story while you're in there. And it blew up from there, and we knew we had to get into a bigger place. So we started looking, we found this place through a realtor, and it's new construction. It was built to suit, and it just worked out really well. The owner of the building is fantastic to work with.
Well, I definitely want to get into that whole immersive atmosphere that you've created and how you do your story theming. But first, let's talk a little bit about the equipment. So, you selected the Laser War Tactical Laser Tag System, which, to be honest, I've only had the opportunity to play it a very few handful of times on a couple of occasions. So, I'd love to know what were some of the reasons that you landed on the system choice that you did.
So that would be, I guess, mine.
Yeah, that's a question.
So yeah, when I was doing a lot of research, we researched pretty much everybody that was out there. You know, you have your battle companies and your iCombats and stuff like that. You know, a lot of the equipment either have the same type of tagger, but you can input different type of what is it called?
Damage outputs.
Yeah,
and
yeah. And it was like, well, I would like to have something that's like a video game to where you can actually put it in your hands and it's completely different. That's why we have a lot of the military type looking taggers. And then we have the one you used, the Pulsar, kind of the sci-fi-ish type thing. So it's kind of we like to kind of mix it up a little bit for everybody. And I just liked how the software was. I mean, there's no franchise fees for Laser War. That's a big draw too, even though they are out of the country, which most places are now, except for the big two is what I call them, iCombat and Battle Company. And then I just liked it overall. I think it's been a good choice for the most part from what we hear from customers. Me personally, what I like about the Laser War taggers is the variability in the styles of taggers that they have. It's not one size fits all. You can have, we've got the small frame. We have a pistol. We have a larger rifle tagger. We have a large, heavy, light machine tagger. And then the sci-fi one, the Pulsar. So with having all those different styles, and when we first started, we set them all up the same. Every single one of them did the same amount of damage. Every single one of them, but you could pick which one you wanted, and it was more of an aesthetic choice. Yep.
We have since evolved. Now we have set those parameters, so you have to think of how you want to play the game. Do you want to be running out there in the front? Do you want to sit back and play support? Like, how do you want to play the game? How do you want to be tactical with this? And making them have pros and cons, I think adds a level of complexity to the game.
Yep.
And it does add some variety that was unique from my vantage point, having only played it a couple of times. The one other experience that I played this system was one model from their AK line and a vest. Whereas when I came to your spot, you have 5 or 6 different models. You were doing headset sensors. And so for me, I felt like it was a completely different game than what I had experienced before. And I did enjoy the fact that there were sort of more sci-fi sounds coming out of my Pulsar phaser, which for me, I gravitated to that because that was the one that I had never seen before. And I always get excited about something new. And I'm more of the space fantasy kind of mindset when I go into an immersive atmosphere. So I loved that you were so story driven.
And that's one thing with these taggers as well. That is a bonus as well, as we can modify those sounds that the taggers are putting out. We can change that at will if we wanted to, we could have, some Disney IP property sounds coming out of these taggers.
But it's not going to happen.
No, it won't.
Now, since I only played with the one when I was during my session, what were the other tagger sounds like? Mine was more like a space kind of blip sound, which stood out to my ears.
Most of the other ones are just traditional weapons sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a silencer.
Or yeah, a slightly less bang.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I guess I chose correctly for my preferences.
Correct.
So when I arrived, there was a group that had already gathered, and you had a party group with some young teens and a couple of public players joining in. So I was public and I joined with them as well. And we played about an 80-minute session with several different game formats. The first thing that really struck me was going in and watching these original briefing videos. And I see the standard manufacturer supplied briefing videos all the time. So anytime I see something that is unique, it really stands out to me. And this was very creative. Please talk to me a little bit about the video, where the idea came from, and how you executed that.
So it did stem from our trip to IAPA and the whole bringing people into an immersive video game. And it also stems from a staffing and time management standpoint as well. Before we had the videos, we were doing all of our briefings in person. We would pull everybody into the middle. We would talk about the next tactical mission, and it just kind of pulled you out of the story. So keeping the team separate and not bringing them into the middle to explain a mission, it also gives our employees an opportunity to set up that next tactical mission, go set up the props and be ready. So as soon as the video is complete, we can roll right into that game. And we're utilizing the time as best we can and giving our customers the most play time that we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. And the video part of it, a lot of my background, either in school or even college, was arts. So getting a storyboard, it was kind of fun. You know, it was kind of bringing me back to the college days. A lot of the videos, which a lot of even the customers don't know, is a lot of the employees, past and present. So it makes it kind of a fun thing for them too, because there's one specific video. It's Push the Payload, where one of the employees dies, and then there's a kind of a graphic that comes up, and it's a headstone, and it says "Rest in peace, Blaze." Well, Blaze wasn't in your session, but
Yeah.
she still works for me, so it's kind of the funness of
Yeah.
it, and we all enjoy doing all that stuff.
I mean, just the two of us, obviously, with what we do, we're big nerds.
Yeah,
we enjoy it.
Welcome
and we
to
like
laser tag.
Yeah, exactly.
and we really enjoy dropping little Easter eggs and hoping
Yeah.
people will pick up on it and things like that. Yeah. So it's fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, 100%. And
Well,
thank God we live in such a time now where, you know, we can take a lot of our videos and make it better, like it looks almost production style, with AI that can take over and do things for us that we normally wouldn't be able to do.
Wouldn't have the skill set to do.
Or shoestring budget. So there's that too. So that's what makes it kind of nice that we're living in a perfect world right now, at least for us.
Well, and speaking of AI, so before we got really all the way into the storyline, there was a character. Please remind me of the character's name, but sort of an AI female
Shiva.
Yep, to kind of guide you into the beginning of the experience before we got into the tale of dragons and knights and fire and ice.
Yep.
So that kind of made me wonder, because that was a little bit of a separation from the rest of the theming that I saw, if that was deliberate for a reason, or if you periodically change your theming up. Where did that come from, and where does that fit into the picture?
So Shiva is a carryover. She is kind of an homage to everything that started.
Yep.
It is a lot of it is theater for the players, because I mean, we don't have 80 plus sensors out there in the arena that are watching them to make sure that they're not running, but we have her say that she does to keep them at a reasonable pace, right? So it's also almost just a transitional phase while our employees are out of there. They're getting just re-emphasizing those safety rules that we've already covered. And the more they hear it, the more they're likely to obey.
Yeah. And I look at it also as when you're getting your taggers, I mean, it's pretty good, sophisticated piece of equipment. So when we throw the word AI in there or whatever, if Shiva as an AI computer that does all these things, it's taking the equipment and kind of upping its value too, for the most part, and subconsciously. And then it goes into, there's a brief pause, and then it goes into the actual tournament style that we do, the nights and everything, and that's when it gets explained. So it's taken, the transition is it's purposeful for the most part, because I don't want a knight, I'm sure you don't want a knight trying to talk through his helmet, saying don't run, climb, or crawl, or jump off of any sniper towers or anything like that. So we would rather. In my day, there was Max Headstrom. Do you remember that TV show?
Oh, Max Headroom, yes.
Yeah. So kind of that concept of young, of that kind of concept of Shiva. So to put it into perspective, because I put a lot of things in perspective that I'm the old guy and Seth is not.
Oh, very good. And something that you just hit upon that I want to mention is the tournament style of how you present this. Now, a lot of times a session in tactical will be a handful of different games, and that's fine. And you usually, like, in your own head, tally up who won more games, but you put it on the board like, okay, you won that one, blue team gets a square, and then red team gets if they won. And so you make it feel like a tournament, even if it's just a regular public session. It does have a little bit of like, oh, we're leading and we're seeing it happen, and you know, I like the feel of that, because I'm sure you could tell I'm kind of competitive.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, the tournament style, definitely, it's kind of another mind thing. It's kind of like medieval times, the restaurant, you know, because you're cheering for your people, and you want them to win, and you want to win. And the employees, we want them as good as all of our employees are. We want them to engage with their team, because we want them to cheer their team on. So the tournament does that. And we believe we don't really fix a lot of games, but there's times where you have to keep some teams from crying, or you know, for the most part,
for the younger kids,
younger kids. But for the most part, we keep it pretty fair and balanced.
I feel that putting the wins and keeping score up on the board, it builds kind of that camaraderie with the team you're playing with. 100%. So if you are playing with a group of strangers, it gives you something to strive for collectively. So it helps build that team dynamic, even if you're playing with strangers. And I think that's a huge part of it for me, and why I wanted to push something of that nature.
Or the comeback.
The comeback factor is always, you know, everybody loves a Cinderella story.
Yeah. I got 2 more kills than I did the last time I was here. Good job, buddy.
Well, I would agree with that. And, you know, just speaking from my experience with the team that I got to play with, again, they were young teenagers for the most part. And I kind of get a kick out of watching how the dynamics evolve. And what was going on for the behind the scenes for you guys, what was going on in our base area was these kids had definitely played at your place before, and they knew what was going on. And I'm watching the video saying, oh, that's kind of cool. That's artistic. I want to hear about how they're briefing this. And they're saying, you want me to just tell you how to do this? And then we'll get
Yeah, there are some of those. Yep.
There was definitely one kid who was taking charge, and he kind of became the self-appointed team captain, and was placing us and like guiding and saying, oh, okay, so you two were the top on the board last game. You guys are going to do this. And so I really felt more in this setting than I sometimes do that actually happened, that team camaraderie really was taking place. I'm just standing there. I'm the old lady who just showed up and they don't know who I am or what I'm doing there. They're saying she takes a lot of selfies, but what's she here for?
Well, if I remember right, you were on the top of the board the whole time, so you're probably getting directed. You need to go here.
I mentioned that I was competitive and
Yeah.
and I
One
wanted
of
to
the
bring
things
it for
that
my
I
team. Sure.
one of the things that I do enjoy seeing is the ones that have not played before. I like to see the evolution of how they play the game. So that very first game, they're running around, for lack of a better term, with the chicken with their head cut off, not knowing what to do, just running around, shooting their tagger, trying to rack up as many points as they can. And as the games progress, you start to see them develop strategy. You start to see them communicate a little bit better. And it's nice to see them developing those skills, because those skills are going to be beneficial down the road.
Well, and that I saw happening too. There was one younger boy who ended up in our group because I think he came with his sister or a family member. And I could definitely see the growth from game to game, particularly when we hit capture the flag, because you have some very cool props. And I want to talk about some of the different formats and some of the things that we used. But in capture the flag, when it came time to grab the base and run it back to our, grab the flag and run it back to our base. He and I had like some communication about, okay, I'll guard you, swap. Let's keep this going and just kind of keep grabbing the tag from grabbing the flag from that area.
Uh-huh.
And so I could definitely see the confidence in that game is when it really exploded for this younger player in the midst of playing with a few of the older experienced ones. And one of the
That's
things
cool.
that I enjoyed was definitely experiencing the different game formats. And a lot of tag systems have some very similar game formats, and some of them take different approaches. But there were a couple of really unique games that we played during our session. I think we might have played 6 games, perhaps.
Mhm.
But the ones that were most unique in their approach, as far as my mind, the 2 formats I found most interesting were Medic and ammo boxes.
Sure.
So I wonder if we could talk a little bit about that. And first of all, are those formats that Laser Wars system just provides to you, or did you have some?
Nope, that's
I
what.
had a feeling that
Yeah.
there was some customization going on there. So please talk to me about how those games came to be and what we did.
So medic, when we moved into the new building, I had this idea. We have much bit higher ceilings, and I wanted to do something that felt like behind enemy lines or something reminiscent of that. So we went out, we got a judo dummy.
Yep.
And I wanted him to be weighted. I wanted him to be very heavy. I wanted the players to try and move their friend from behind enemy lines and get him home.
Physically move it.
Right. With safety concerns and things like that, we thought better of it, and we'll just place a game master out there with the players, and they'll be the medic moving your friend from enemy territory home. But it adds a different dynamic to it, because it's not so much tug of war, because it's really one-sided at the start. But if you get the ball rolling, inertia keeps you rolling. So we'll try to come up with different and unique game modes that will. So if you come multiple times and you play multiple times here with us, you can have a different experience every time. We're not going to just recycle the same old stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So with Medic, the short version of it is that you had to get near your friend, the medic Jerry, and with
Jeremy.
proximity.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, okay.
Oh,
And you know
yeah.
what? I took this far too literally, because the game marshals introduced themselves and I'm looking around saying, is your name Jeremy? Until I found Seth was there with a nice blue light above his head and figured out what it was. So the objective is to get within proximity, and then the medic friend very slowly, painfully slowly walks with you as you guide him back to base. And I'd never played something quite like that before. So I want to give you guys kudos for the creativity and just kind of, wondering how all that came to be.
Mhm.
because that was unique, and I like the things that are a little bit different than what I typically experience.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
That's another one with the employees. They can make it whatever they want to be. I mean, in the rules for the employees, it's 1 second per step, like it says in the video. But they can be, if there's nobody around to where they have to move, there's times where they're doing chest compressions and telling Jeremy don't die, and acting it out like
I do enjoy, and I love the fact that our employees play with our players and play off of them and get them to really dive in, and it's so much fun getting to watch them do that with the customers.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's funny to watch. I mean, I've done it many times before, but it's fun to watch the employees do it because, even if at the end of the mission and Jeremy dies, they'll start, "Oh my God, Jeremy, no." And my biggest one at the end is, well, Jeremy's funeral is Sunday. Bring Dr. Pepper or something like that. And everybody starts laughing, even though they lost or whatever. So.
And I do get kind of a kick that in the rules it says you can't tell Jeremy to hurry up.
Yeah, or you go slow.
He'll go at his pace. But that was kind of cool. You had several games that had props. You had a device that had to be deactivated with the code. You had capture the flag with red and green and blue. What exactly do they call that particular device that was used in capture?
That is those are laser war props, and they are digital flag posts.
Yep.
Thank you. I knew that I had seen both of those props at a trade show, so I was familiar with the look of what it was. The one prop situation that you had, though, that also really got interesting because it was more to do with math than it was actual laser tag, was playing with the ammo boxes. So this is another one of your creative innovations?
Yeah, this one.
Okay. How does this work,
of,
and why did we lose that one? I know the answer. Do you know the answer?
So this is one of Aaron's creations,
right?
And it I guess it's got a little bit of my flair into it too,
right?
Because you're in the middle of a large tagger battle, right? And with these, you need ammo. You're running low, so it kind of brings in an element of hide and go seek, or you have to find what you're looking for. You have to find your supplies, but you also have to defend yourself while doing it.
Literally looking around the ground is like an Easter egg hunt.
Exactly.
For boxes.
So it's fun in that aspect. And then in the video, we explained that the wizards play tricks. So when we get them all back to the base, the mission's over, and we go to tally. And you guys wouldn't know this, just picking the boxes up off the floor, but there's a letter on the side of each box, and those letters correspond to a scorecard. And we've got probably 6 different scorecards with random numbers assigned to the letters. Typically, we would allow the team to pick one of those scorecards, and that's their fate. So there's positive, there's negative, there's neutral numbers like a 0. So ultimately, you just ended up with the wrong set of boxes. Yeah, that's why you lost.
Or cards,
or the wrong card.
We found the negative boxes, but we had plenty of them.
Yeah. And there's times where the employees will let the 2 teams pick out of the cards that we have, and then sometimes I'm assuming they probably didn't have you guys pick a card, or did they? No,
a card just appeared, but that was fine.
Okay, yeah, and that's they grab one card, and that's for everybody.
That's for bolting.
Yeah, because that's a time constraint thing. It's like if we're doing good on time, then they'll be like, pick a card, and then it'll have whatever the numbers systems are for the letters, and then ammo box. A good point about ammo box when you were talking is it's kind of a psychological thing too. Like in our escape rooms, one of the biggest things for an escape room is to try to find something, and it makes your mind and your endorphins in your mind just blow up. So if you find an ammo box, it literally is like, oh my God. And we've heard it.
You
more
found
times.
treasure.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, we found an ammo box. We'll make sure we don't die when we get by, we got to get back to base. So it triggers psychologically, it triggers a good effect in your brain. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
people remember
No,
that.
I would agree with that. I mean, when I found the first ammo box, I was like, wow, this really is like an Easter egg hunt. I mean, I definitely
Yeah,
thought, oh, a
exactly.
kid with candy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and took that back. And I probably brought back that -5 bucks. But what you gonna do?
Yep. That's
But
what we want too.
by the time we got to that game, though, I had figured out the arena because you have a nice symmetrical plan in your arena. And I'm just wondering a little about the construction. How did you end up with the arena design and the build that you have? Very well
So
balanced and was a fun space to play. Just
we,
enough little bits of theming without being over the top, because a lot of tactical goes the other way. I play a lot of theming in traditional arenas, but oftentimes tactical goes a little bit more militaristic, and you were kind of just this nice balance.
yeah. So when we signed our lease for this building, and we knew the square footage that we were going to be working with, I spent a lot of time in 3D modeling software, um, and I spent a lot of time, or at the time, I spent a lot of time playing first-person shooters and um, video games of that nature. So I knew what I liked in maps and I knew what I didn't like in maps. I wanted to make sure that it was balanced enough that nobody felt like they had an advantage over the other team, because I have played in places where, it is fairly lopsided depending on which team you're assigned or where you're spawning at that moment. It could feel really lopsided. So I wanted to keep it balanced. I wanted multiple avenues of approach with flanking positions. Um, and it's even evolved in the 3 years that we've been here. Because our bases used to be in the armory where you would get your taggers. That used to be the spawning points. And there was no traversing through the center. But that left the outside corners of our arenas fairly unplayed, unused. So Aaron and I decided on a plan to really utilize the space and make sure that every inch of the area, the arena, was being used. And we pushed those spawn points all the way out to the corners, and then opened up the armories and the path between the armories as another avenue of approach. So now we have four avenues of approach with multiple flanking angles. And then we added the second level, where you can get kind of a look down over a bird's eye view and a sniper tower as you were. The original plan was to have a full second story that ran the entire length of the back wall and a tower in the center as well. Just architect fees and cost overrun eliminated that.
Yep.
Well, the arena that you've got worked beautifully for the setup, but you've just described some challenges, and I always kind of like to know, well, what challenges did you have to overcome along the way? Sounds like architecture might have been one of them, but any other things come to mind, maybe that other operators can learn from your experiences with?
I just say play around with it. Fail good, and then you win.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it's always kind of been my mantra to fail early, fail often,
Yep.
But try to fail forward
Yep.
at every opportunity. Challenges that we have run into, obviously, construction costs. Marketing is a big challenge for us, just because we don't have a large budget to go out there and spend money on traditional marketing or anything like that.
How
But
do you market if you're not doing the traditional routes?
it's typically word of mouth and a Facebook page, and that's pretty much it. It has
Yep.
worked out well. Though, we've got a couple of, I don't want to call them family entertainments, they're little kid centers with big slides and jungle gyms and stuff like that around the area. And they have these large budgets and they can put ads on TV and on the radio. And we just we have to give our customers the best possible experience so they leave here and they can't stop talking about us.
Yep.
And that is our goal. We want to make sure that everybody leaves here with a smile on their face. Because we are only open on the weekends
For the most part. Yep.
And because we both work full-time jobs outside of this. So this is more of a passion project for us.
Well, and your passion project has more than one angle to it because you also have the escape rooms and Nerf wars as well.
Yeah, Nerf Wars is actually running right now.
Yep.
So tell me about some of the other aspects of your business and what has done the best for you as far as the returns.
So as you mentioned, we've got the physical escape rooms. We are currently in our virtual reality escape room. We have virtual reality headsets. We partner with a company in Canada that develops virtual reality escape rooms. We can put up to 5 people in here at a time, and they go through a virtual escape room, which is unlike anything you could ever experience in a physical escape room. There's puzzles that you could never do. One of them is set in space, so everything around you is weightless. So if you let something go, it's going to float away. You can't do that in a physical escape room. So these are really, really cool. The physical escape rooms are fantastic. I love them because Aaron spends a lot of time brainstorming. I try to give him as many ideas as I can, but he is the creative force behind most of our physical escape rooms, comes up with the puzzles, the storylines, and anytime somebody comes in and they say, oh, I played 100 escape rooms and I love yours the most because it feels real. It doesn't feel like it's a cookie cutter. It's not from a big box store. It is really built and developed by us.
Yep. 100%.
As far as the biggest return, it's going to be the laser tag. That's the biggest draw for us. And yeah, I don't think it's even close.
No, that's not close.
But we wanted to do something that families can enjoy, and not everybody in a family may enjoy laser tag. So give them other options where they can come together as a family.
Yep.
Very good. And you're talking about that creativity. I love to hear, what are some of the out-of-the-box ideas that you've implemented to attract customers, to keep your regulars engaged? Where's the kernel of creativity that maybe will inspire somebody?
I guess that's me.
Sounds like it.
So when it comes to, I think we've been running this tournament for the tournament style for laser tag. 3 years? No, a little bit more.
Because we had one concept when we first moved in.
Yeah.
And we ran that for about a year and a half, and then we shifted. So we've been running the current tournament style for probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. And just with technology wise, they kind of, like now you've seen in the beginning, Shiva is talking. We couldn't do that before when we first started. So just using all the new tools that everybody can get now as a business or even as a regular consumer. And we're just, since it's our 9th season, next week, we're just opening a new escape room that has been, I've told Seth, it's been about 2 years in the working. And that'll be opening this weekend live. He's actually going to finally do it tonight.
Yeah.
So he'll be my last test subject. But like with laser tag, I'll get off of the escape room and then we'll start thinking about what we want to do for more different games. We just introduced a game that you hadn't played, probably because maybe the kids on the other side were too small. I can't remember the group that you guys played against, but we introduced catapults. So if you ever went up to the sniper tower, there's slingshots up there, and catapults is a concept of the old catapult days. and you have to find these foam basketballs that don't hurt because I've been smashed in the face with them a couple times.
We didn't see catapults, but I did find a couple of them.
Yeah, okay. And you have to catapult those basketballs all the way across the arena to hit the netting on the top
enemy castle. It's like a castle siege.
Yeah.
So you find your boulders, you load them in the catapult, and launch them at your enemy castle, and you're trying to destroy the enemy castle, and by that you score points.
So
I think I found one of those balls and I held it up and I said, "Is this Jeremy?" I didn't know what I was looking for.
That's funny. But no, so we try to introduce new games. I'm sure we'll try to find a new game mode or something that we haven't done before.
Realistically, the creative spark happens when we feel ourselves getting a little complacent, or if things feel like they're stagnating. We'll like, what can we do to spice things up? What can we do that our customers have never seen, not only here but anywhere? What can we do that is different? We want to set ourselves apart.
Yeah, and Seth comes up with a lot of really good concept games and whatnot. So I'm not the only spark that's here, but like I said before, it's in my family to where a lot of the acting part of it, and he's like, and
I'm not an actor.
Yeah. And even for the escape rooms and a little bit of laser tag, we try to theme it up as, like you said, as much as possible, but dialed it back a little bit more too. And our escape rooms they're themed enough to where you're walking into a movie set for the most part. So definitely the new one that we're opening up. I mean, he's like, whoa, this one's going to be good.
Yeah.
Should be good. Hopefully it's good. Knock on wood.
Very good. And if you could impart some words of wisdom to new tactical laser tag operators or somebody thinking about getting into the business, what advice would you offer?
I would say don't stop. That's probably one, because we were actually just talking about this, not about laser tag, but a different kind of company, like a haunted house company. It's just if you stop, you're not going to make it, for one. And there are a lot of challenges, even us being pretty seasoned. We try not to say professional. We just like to say seasoned, because when we feel that we're professionals, and you probably feel the same way, you probably already know where I'm going.
Yeah.
If we feel professional, we're just going to be silent.
We're going to sit back on our laurels. We're not going to try and improve.
Yeah. Exactly.
For me, the one bit of advice that I could impart would be work hard, play hard.
Yep.
You know,
and you got
to work hard at the business.
Yep.
But you got to have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun doing it, you're in the wrong line. Find something else.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is definitely the business of fun, and I'm so glad that we had a chance to chat about it. Now, I like to end the podcast with a little bit of rapid fire tag talk. Some quick questions to you and quick answers back. Are you guys game for that?
I'll give it a shot.
All right. Now, my one rule, though, when there's more than one person on the line, is you can't use the same answer. So who's going to be the first person to answer each time? Because the second person has to come up with something different.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Rapid fire question. Seth, what's the most unusual event or party that you've ever hosted for laser tag?
30 collegiate cheerleaders. Or not, no, gymnastics. 30 collegiate gymnasts.
All right. Were they cartwheeling through the arena?
They had just finished a competition down at the University of Iowa, and this was their follow-up to the competition, and they were very energetic.
Love it. All right, Aaron, what do you think? Most unusual event or party you've hosted?
Go with rated R one. So I will go with, we have our Iowa Hawkeye football team came in one night, and we had no idea they were coming in. So that was pretty stoked.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was
upset.
Not here. I was upset.
Well, that'll teach you to take a day off. All right, Seth, coolest place that you've ever played laser tag other than your own arena?
That's not fair. Coolest place I've ever played. Again, I don't think they're functioning anymore. I think it's EC Tactical.
Okay.
I really enjoyed their layout,
Nope.
and that was basically it. I enjoyed their layout.
That was a good layout.
Yeah.
I would say Adrenaline for me. There used to be a place in Waterloo. It was 10,000 square foot arena. It was pretty good. It's flat. It was a flat arena, but pretty good.
Nice. All right, Seth, coolest person you've ever met through laser tag? Because it wasn't one of the football players. You weren't there that night.
Yeah, other than you. No, I the coolest person I've met through laser tag would be Aaron.
Love it.
I would definitely say so. Yeah. Because we bounce off of each other.
Like I said at the very beginning, I think he's the big picture ideas and bouncing stuff off of me, and I'm very analytical, and I want to look at any possible problems that may come around. It's a really good match for running a business.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Oh, very good. All right, Seth, what's your favorite game format?
That we run here?
Any game format that you run anywhere. Well, I mean, in laser tag, but
yeah. No, I think probably my favorite is Domination. It's classic. As far as tactical is concerned, you see it in a bunch of different video games, and it gets all the players' hearts pumping, and like gives everybody a shared focus of what we need to do. And I think that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, takes a lot of teamwork with Domination to hold those bases too.
Absolutely.
How about for you, Aaron? Favorite game format?
So I think it would be probably Disarm the Bomb, just because it's a super fast game. So another one that keeps your heart pumping, adrenaline going, and your mind always on task. So
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go with that one.
And I won't say that one takes a lot of math, but it does take a lot of remembering.
Yep, it's a memory game too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, Seth, what's your favorite energy drink to keep you on the move?
You bastard.
I get to go first. It's the Monster Peach Tea. Yeah, go ahead. You can't repeat the answer.
I'll have to go.
All right, Aaron.
Monster Strawberry Lemon Tea. It's
all right. It's a monster household here.
Yeah, the Monster Rehab.
Yeah.
Would be that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite brand of we never run in the arena shoes? That's my fancy way of saying, what kind of running shoes do you like? Or we don't run?
Yeah. I don't know. Me personally, I love watching people come in slides thinking that they're going to do well. Like you have zero traction in those. They're going to fly off your feet. Yeah.
Those are we literally never run in the arena shoes.
We don't. We can't. We can't run.
Yep.
All right, Aaron, how about for you?
Well, I remember one child coming in with Air Force Ones and throwing his foot up and going, "These are good for laser tag, right?" And I said, "Probably not for your mother." But if you want to use them, I guess that's what you're doing. So Air Force Ones.
Okay. And final question of rapid fire tag talk. Seth, what's the best reason to play laser tag at Dragon's Lair?
The family fun atmosphere, the theming, just all of it is so fun, and it's energetic, and it's just a blast.
All right. He's going to take all the answers from you, Aaron.
I am. Go ahead and think of something else.
What do you think? What's the best reason to play at Dragon's Lair?
Well, he already said family friendly. I would have to go with your mind is engaged. You're engaging your mind. You're engaging your body, and you're probably going to sweat in 65-degree AC every day.
Yeah, you're definitely going to sweat.
So I'll go with that.
That's a good one.
A lot of great reasons to play, and I am definitely delighted that I had the opportunity to experience it myself, and I thank you guys for joining me. That is Aaron Laird and Seth Pettit, owners of Dragon's Lair in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and so if you get the chance, go see those guys. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
very
Appreciate it.
much.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Laser Unfocused Tag Talk. Listen for more episodes on the first and third Friday of each month. Want to be a guest on an upcoming episode? Find out more and follow my blog and website at TiviaChickLovesLaserTag.com.